Hey guys, so we're going to talk about API preamps today. You know, these are one of the most popular preamps for drums, especially for rock and metal. They really sound great when you pair them with dynamic mics, but they are quite expensive. So it may be hard for all of you at home who are running just a normal home recording studio to be able to get your hands on these. But what about emulation of API preamps? Do they really hold up to the hardware version? Well, that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to do a little deep dive of hardware versus software API preamps. So for this shootout, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on two drums. We're going to look first at my 10-inch tom and then my 16-inch tom. That way you get a good range of sound differences. Let's focus first on my 10-inch and see what that setup looks like. So I got two microphones on the top and two on the bottom. Up top, as you can see, I've got a pair of Bayer Dynamic. These are Opus 88 mics. Really, these are small diaphragm condenser mics. On the bottom, I got two mics. Again, these are identical to each other. These are the EV ND44 model mics. So what am I doing for the routing on these mics? So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of call one mic a hardware mic and the other one the software mic. So up on the top, one of my condensers that's going to run through my API preamp and then go to my interface. We're going to call that the top hardware. And then the other one is going to go straight to my interface. Just use the stock preamp on that. It's not going to go through the API. We'll call that the software top mic. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. One's going to go through the API, then my interface. The other one's going to go directly to my interface. Now, once inside of the DAW, I'm not going to do any EQ or compression or reverb or even gating on any of those four mic tracks that I have going on there. I am going to do some phase correction though, to flip the bottom relative to the top. Now, of course, also I'm going to be putting one plugin though on the top software and the bottom software, and that's going to be the emulation software we talked about earlier. But this is going to be the UA, the Universal Audio, their version, what they would call the UAD API Preamp. One thing to note is technically the model of the preamp that's being emulated is a slightly different model than what my hardware version is, but for sake of this comparison, they're basically the same. So what are you going to hear in the playback so that you can kind of get a good sense of this? Well, there's actually going to be like 12 different things that we go through. So that should give you a really good sense of how the sound kind of layers. So first you're going to hear just the top mic, the software version. So software top, then you'll hear the hardware top. Then you'll hear the software bottom, then the hardware bottom, then the software top and bottom together, and the hardware top and bottom together. Right, so that's going to be 6 things you're going to hear. You're going to hear those just in isolation, right? None of the overheads or anything else going on. Then we're going to repeat that whole process. We're going to turn on all the rest of the mics. And so you'll hear it as a full kit. Okay, so at this point, we should have a pretty good sense as to how the two compare on high pitch tom. Let's head over to a low pitch tom. Now the setup on this is almost identical to the high pitch tom. Again, I've got the two small condensers on top, same ones I was using before. Bottom, though, I have different dynamic mics. This time I'm using the Sennheiser MD 421s. So what did you guys think? Did you think there was enough of an audible difference for you to want to splurge on maybe a lunchbox full of these, or maybe a couple rack units? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you are interested in seeing more content like this, more drum related stuff on recording tips or drum gear reviews or lessons or any of that other good stuff, then don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, peace.